used. Ravindran's personal net worth has dropped to zero. He now resides in Dubai, fighting billions of dollars in countersuits.
Every day, you make decisions: what to buy, who to trust, what to believe. But here's the real question: are those decisions really yours, or are they designed? This channel breaks down the psychology behind everything. I'm Shah, and this is where we decode the world.
In 2022, Byju's reached a peak valuation of $22 billion, securing massive investments from elite global tech philanthropists, including Mark Zuckerberg's own fund. The company commanded immense public trust and cemented its cultural dominance across India through high-profile endorsements from figures like Shah Rukh. Yet by October 2024, the founder stood in public and admitted the company was worth zero. Less than 2 years later, he was sentenced to 6 months in a Singapore prison for contempt of court. The collapse of a $22 billion empire reveals a series of specific psychological blind spots in the founder who built it. Byju Ravindran was born to 2 schoolteachers in the coastal village of Kozhikode, Kerala. He was driven by a sincere, inherited belief in the power of education. He possessed a logic-based teaching style that stripped away rote memorization. Soon, his free whiteboard sessions were organically drawing crowds of thousands to auditoriums across the country. The success of these early sessions provided the foundation for the explosive growth and the specific psychological traps that followed. Psychologists define the Dunning-Kruger effect as a cognitive bias where extreme competence in one domain creates an illusion of competence in entirely unrelated fields. Growth spiked during the 2020 pandemic, adding 13.5 million students in 60 days. Managing this scale required financial governance, international law, and complex M&A integration, specialized skills the founder lacked, yet believed he possessed. Ravindran had become an overconfident CEO of a multinational corporation while still relying on the instincts of a classroom teacher. By 2020, the mission shifted toward empire building, exhibiting traits of Hubris Syndrome, where a leader's vision mutates into an obsession, rendering them deaf to negative feedback. Between 2020 and 2022, Byju's consumed companies across multiple continents simultaneously in a $2.6 billion acquisition spree. Underneath this aggressive expansion, internal finances were failing, recording a loss of nearly $980 million by 2022. Ravindran was confusing the act of buying companies with the reality of building a sustainable business. To fund this expansion, extreme financial pressure was pushed down to a massive direct sales force armed with ethically compromised quotas. These representatives utilized loss aversion, the psychological principle that humans fear losing more than they desire gaining. Sales reps sat in the homes of low-income families and told parents that without this software, their children would fall behind in the job market. To secure these sales, Byju's utilized a first-loss default guarantee structure. By guaranteeing the loans against default, financial partners issued credit to families who could not afford the product. Thousands of consumer complaints soon flooded the Advertising Standards Council of India as the promised educational outcomes failed to materialize. The company had become a machine optimized to exploit the anxieties of vulnerable parents. Internally, the organization succumbed to groupthink, the prioritization of loyalty over critical thinking, which destroyed the company's internal warning systems. Financial accounts were filed 18 months late, prompting the global auditor, Deloitte, to resign. As independent directors fled the chaos, only Ravindran, his wife, and his brother remained in charge of the $22 billion entity. With zero oversight, $533 million in U.S. loan proceeds were moved offshore and unaccounted for, triggering a $1 billion default judgment. By dismissing dissenters and isolating himself with family, the founder dismantled the company's only protection against failure. The true cost fell on 27,000 employees. Many were first-generation professionals who were abruptly laid off as the funds dried up. Workers endured months of unpaid salaries and saw their Provident Fund contributions withheld, while parents across India remained trapped paying high-interest loans for subscriptions they no longer used. Ravindran's personal net worth has dropped to zero. He now resides in Dubai, fighting billions of dollars in countersuits. A company founded to make education accessible ended its run by financially exploiting the families who believed in it. The collapse has left a legacy of debt and a deep skepticism among Indian parents toward educational loans and digital platforms. Growth is not the same as health. Valuation is not the same as value. No visionary ambition can survive the absence of governance, accountability, and a willingness to hear the word no.
About power, identity, and how situations shape who we are. Subscribe.